Good evening to those that are concerned. Um, March 22nd, it's a Wednesday. It's 1:14 a.m. I hit the record button. I was writing something down. It's like, just someone is annoying me as soon as I write something down and I pick up my guitar. And it gets to the point, this fucking person just so fucking annoying. It's the same person that said like 5 or 6 times hi to me. I didn't respond to her. It's like, I don't want nothing to do with you, you know? I felt like I almost had a heart attack 2 years ago and you had a smile on your face like you wanted me to die. And you're the biggest fucking idiot, Kaika. Jesteś naprawdę głupia idiotka, taka, że w głowie się nie mieści. Her husband was here like 2 days ago and it's like I was doing something in my car, I guess they bought a Kia. I thought it was somebody else just parked it and I was like, oh, I saw him, I was like, oh, that's Rafa, whatever, Rafalik, whatever, little person. He went to the front, this and that. We didn't exchange time. He didn't even look my way. I kind of gazed at him what he was doing, but I was vacuuming my car. It's like, I have no time for that shit, Him or like a bunch of other people. So, he stays quiet, It's his wife that just fucking annoying as shit, dude. Like, I want nothing to do with you. Like, go to fucking hell. Yeah, if there's a hell, you should probably belong there. You're so fucking retarded, bro. You're such a fucking retard. But, it's like, when too many enter my mind, kind of hard to keep saying words fluttering around, intertwined with theirs own staggering mind around. Lost vocabulary pages lingering, wanting to be found. It's always the selfish that have me not yet found. It's like, it's like people just want to bring you down. Even like, it's just, even to, like I did a job, I went to work today, I did a little bit over 10 hours, something like that. Let's say I started at 11 hours actually. 11 hours worth of, manual labor, but I'm not saying, I got good pay. Over $300 with a tip. But it's like, it was just a bad day. Not bad that I just, I felt like, at the end, I kind of mouthed off to one of the guys. He's a big guy. This guy was just fucking slow. He's just, and, I figured someone said he's old, this and that. Yeah, he might have, he might be like, I don't know, like around my age, maybe a little bit older, but it's just a big, heavy-set guy. And he just didn't have enough strength, He just didn't have enough strength. And the other guy, I saw them lifting like a dresser. See, but a couple of things happened prior to that, It's just like him and the so-called driver, supervisor, the friend of, the guy that owns the company, this and that. It's like I was doing something like, Lucas, go do that. I'm like, all right. I'm like, oh, do that. He's like, no. He's like, bro, like I'm doing this, and the other thing. And, the so-called, the guy's name is Mike. He was like, he's like, Lucas, go do that over there. So I'm going there. And this fat guy, the one later, me and him got in an argument. He just goes and does that. And they just, I don't know if they stare, look at, they smile, but it's like people do, it's like I'm not your fucking prostitute or a whore. I'm not your bitch, bro. And, later I said something to the mic. I said, well, this and the other. And he just said, all right. He calmed down a little bit. After he didn't fucking, actually, still after he kind of yelled at me, like, look over there, just yell. I'm like, motherfucker, bro. Like, why don't you get your fucking geeky faggot ass and move the fuck up the stairs, bro? You stand on the truck, you jerk off and shit, and you talk on the phone, you little faggot. I didn't say that, but I was calling him a cracker the whole time, like a major fucking guinea faggot. I fucking just, I wanted to lose my shit on that motherfucker, And then, it's like, this other guy is fucking, he says he's gonna be like a supervisor or, foreman. I'm like, I'm not gonna work with that guy. If he's coming to a job, like, no. Get the other guy that broke his leg and the other guy that, I don't know, overdose or some retarded shit. Like, these guys do coke and another thing, these guys were smoking weed on the job. Which is like, all right, it mellows you out, right? It mellows you out. Because considering, what kind of strain you have, like you should probably get the one that gives you energy. But it's like, why would you need energy from weed, from getting intoxicated? It's like me having a beer or two. Yeah, it will mellow me out. If I have a beer or two, it'll melt me out, but I'm on a job, man. It's like, I want to keep moving. I want to drink water, stay hydrated. So these guys were just smoking weed like two times, and they were like, hey, you want to hit? I'm like, no, I don't smoke, you know. But the other guy, the foreman, it was just like, he just, he like, and, and I said something to, I ignored him, and it's like, he's like, oh, and it's another thing these guys do. It's like, it's like one guy standing 5 feet from me. He's like, hey, can you give me that? He's not holding anything. It's like, I'm doing something. He's like, I gotta stop what I'm doing. I gotta get you that. Why don't you just fucking walk 5 feet and just fucking get that shit? Like a piece of tape. I rarely do that. Hey, can you give me that? This and that. I understand teamwork, but when it comes to teamwork, it's like there was lack of communication with these guys. Last guy said, are you picking that up? It's like they don't know how to say it, especially that one big guy. He's like, no, what? He's just slow as shit. I'm like, dude, well, just, what, I gotta read your mind and shit? Yeah, there's another idiot calling me, not saying my hard ass. It's like, why would you put hard and ass in the same sentence? I mean, I get what he's trying to say, but it's ridiculous. But anyway, it's like, and then at the end, it was like, it was like the last piece. I was putting a bed frame together, and there was this lanky mattress, and this dude just kind of, I was like, hey, can you hold it up? And I picked up the mattress, and he just couldn't hold up, and it like fell down. I was like, bro, he's like, bro, what are you doing? What are you telling me this? And he's trying to give me an attitude. I was like, bro, don't give me an attitude. He's like, who the fuck's giving you an attitude? I'm like, listen, I've been getting fucking shit up. I've been getting aggression from recipes. Like, and he's like, I'm not like that, this and the other thing. And then eventually, like, he came down. Then he started like talking to me and shit. Like, it's like I had to like fucking put up my foot down and shit or some shit like that. And he came like, he just like, all right, this and the other thing. And I was just trying to tell him, just hold that thing up so I could put the bed. And it was just an easy snap on. And I don't know how long he worked in that company. He was like, how do you not know how to do that? Even if it's your first time, just do it. I'll hold the mattress. So I was like, I'll hold the mattress. You do that. He's like, and then he said, I don't know how to do it. And I was like, I didn't say anything after that. I was like, well, at least he actually, said he doesn't know how to do it. Because like some other guys would have pretended it's like it's something else. I'd be like, nah, man, fuck that. It's 10 hours, man. Like, blah, blah. At least he said he doesn't know how to do it. So I was like, all right, well, at least he's admitted he doesn't know how to do it. But it's like, I got a confrontation with him. And it was just like, the $340 was good money for 1 day's of work. But it was just like, if this is going to be like, maybe 2-3 days out of the week, maybe I'll suffer through it. But it just gets fucking annoying getting a confrontation with people, And it was just, and at the end of the day, and before that, actually, these two other guys, not the so-called driver, foreman, he was on the truck and just putting stuff on the end. They were taking his dresser, and they were just beating up the stairs and the dresser. And I mean, I took one thing in, I worked out. I took another thing in. It took me like maybe 3 to 5 minutes or something like that. And they just, went up 3 stairs. And the other big guy that I so-called got in a confrontation about the bedroom, he just couldn't do it. So then and I was like, should I stare? Like, I want to stare, just watch this. It's like, I'm sorry, but I'm angry at these people, so I want to see them fuck up. I felt like there's an evil inside me. It was like, what if they drop and they scrape a wall? And it didn't make too many marks, but it was just like so loud. It was like, bro, it was like 5 minutes you got up like 3 stairs. And I knew they were all tired. But the guy on top, he was his name was Walter. He was the guy that, he was supposed to be like this foreman, and he just, he always told me to get this and that. And the other thing is, it was just so annoying. And then, he's on top, so he's like, all right, you want to get this? I'm like, yeah, all right, get it. And I'm like, I want to drip. And it was a tall dresser, about 5 feet. So I'm like, I'll get it from the bottom. And he's like, no, don't get it from the bottom. Just can you press it? I'm like, I can press it. I got my gloves, but I gotta take off the blanket, this and that. And it's like, I got on top, and it's like, and then what? And then he wants to put it on every stair or something. He wants to put it on like on the landing, and then there's another landing. It was going to the second floor. And I just started thinking, I was like, if I get it from the bottom, or if I lift it like that, you just have to like lift it all the way up. And he couldn't do it. He got there, he just said, oh, put it on the stair, I'm like, oh my God. And it just wasted so much energy. And then we got to the landing, and it's like, I had to stop, and like this other guy had to like hold it, and then eventually I put it on my shoulder, and it was just so staggering. It reminded me of working with like, this guy Ken. Except he would never. I don't think he would ever go on top, or maybe he would go on top, but he wouldn't. He could never lift the dresser like this, so we could just stand it straight up, go up the stairs straight up, and eventually I just I didn't say too much. I was just like bro, I was like, I can't do it. And then finally there was no argument between me and the so-called former Walter. We got up onto the top. It was like on the second floor, and then we set it down, and then he wants to pick it up and stand it up actually, and I'm like, well, why don't you just put it flat, on upside down because I had a blanket, and I don't remember what he said. But he was just like, oh, but you want to do this and that. He just walked away, and then I was like, all right. So he's like, why don't you do it then? So I was like, all right. So I went over. He he got angry, this and that. He's like, yo, put a blanket over here and put it on the blanket. He's trying to give me like fucking, he's trying to he's trying to own me with that. He really knows how to do it. I'm like, there was already blanket on the dress. I'm like, I don't need another blanket. So I was like, we don't need another blanket. And he left. So me and this other guy, we're picking it up. We put it. He just comes back, put it on the blanket. We'll put it on the blanket. Well, you did this and that. I'm like, man, this is just whatever, man. And we just do it. And we just dragged. And then he just became quiet and shit. It's like, why the fuck would you even need a second blanket, And then the other guy just he figured out the lady he has to push it on the like on the bottom instead of just put it on top. It's just like the amount of not having any logic or anything like that, The so-called foreman, it's like he was trying to instruct me how to tape a blanket into a dresser. Like even if it was my first day, okay, he's trying to show me this and that, but it's like I could do this, and it's like he was showing me stuff that I think I already knew he knew or something, or maybe not. But it was just so condescending and annoying, man. And eventually I was like, all right. I started laughing. I started ignoring him. But, he got angry after that. He left. And then that's when I got in confrontation with that big guy and shit. Because, he couldn't hold anything up. And it was late. I know we worked for over 10 hours, Everyone's tired. I think we just, it was after we had food. But, people were just tired. But it's like he just couldn't do it. He couldn't hold this little lanky mattress up. So it was like, what am I supposed to do? Just move everything around. Everything was left around the room. I had to move stuff back and forth. The way they put box springs, they would put box springs they put it right in the middle of the floor or some stuff like that. And I was like, how am I supposed to put the bed together? It makes common sense when you put the box, you put them on the side, put the mattress on the side, you put the bed frame together, and then you put the box springs on top, this and the other thing, and you put the mattress on top. But it's like when you put everything in the middle, well, the other person that has to put a bed frame together has to pick all of it up and put it in a certain place. So I was rearranging stuff nonetheless, Another stuff is they have all these blankets, they put all this tape around them, but it's like they just leave that stuff. And I was the only one going around, and the garbage. I get it. They said we don't take the tape that they put back in the truck because supposedly they don't have a garbage, this and the other thing. I was thinking I'll take it home, I throw it in here, but I was like, nah, fuck that shit. So they told the customer to do it, But it was just another thing. It was the third time working there, and it was another thing they do is I heard a lot of moving companies do. They hike their prices. This guy said, and it's another customer said, I left a deposit. I think I left a second deposit or something like that. And now they're saying it's you're gonna charge me $50 or $2,000 more for the move. I didn't even hear the price. I didn't want to hear that. But it's they jumped the price. And I was like, wow, man. It's I'm here all the way in Pennsylvania. I'm an hour and a half from home. And I'm pretty sure the guy's gonna be, all right, here's $20 for gas. I don't even know, but it's not about that. It's what if this move doesn't go? And also, it's just such an uncomfortable feeling. So we spent half an hour, 45 minutes. I think the guy said it was an hour. We just stood there and we waited for the customer to resolve the issue. That was the second time with that. At the end of the day, the money's way better if I had my own jobs. If I had my own jobs, I would have saved that guy maybe $2,500. We would have done it in 5-6 hours. Seriously, me and another guy probably. Seriously, and with blankets, this and the other thing. So he probably would have been happy, except we didn't have movers insurance. He had good paintings, this and that, which not a lot of guys, but it's they didn't even care. And it became this thing, there was this paint, it was a painting, but it was 3D printed. It wasn't with a brush or anything like that. and it was on the wall. They never took it down. So, you know, I was clearing a room, and I was trying to, there was a Bruce Springsteen memorabilia, you know, like his photos with signatures and stuff. And he had, I think, A-Rod on, he was on, I guess, the Orioles, right? I don't even know. But it was like, it was a baseball player on Orioles, and he ended up a team. He had a whole newspaper thing. So I started putting bubble wrap and, like, you know, and blankets. I trying to take care of it. But then there was this, you know, other painting, and he, like, you know, he didn't even care. The so-called driver and that. And it's like, I realized, like, maybe I shouldn't have said anything. Maybe she just left it. But it's like, you know, it's almost like these people, it's like they always try to hide stuff or something like that. Or if he doesn't say, oh, well, you didn't say that, so now it's in the price, and I don't have no time for that dude shit. I'm not the kind of person I do the business side. It's like, well, you didn't say that, so, you know, let me talk to my boss, because now we're going to you're going to have to pay more money. I don't believe in that shit. It's just that, you know, he looked at me strange, like when I talked about the painting. It's like, well, what the fuck you want me to do, you fucking asshole, okay? Just because I'm not a fucking faggot and I stay on the fucking truck and I jerk off to you fucking whore, you know, I'm not going to take it to that level. But it's just like, it's so fucking annoying. Why don't you just fucking pick everything up, put it, organize it, bubble wrap it, shrink wrap, and just get on the fucking truck. It's like, you know, it's like I was doing one room, hey, go do this, go do that, like, what the fuck you want me to do, bro? And they probably call me a faggot, a bitch, and a loser, because I'm the only one running back and forth. Like, that's not even accurate. You know, you're not even true, bro. You know, I just get, you know, like, idiot over here gives me so much hatred. Oh, you're not a hard ass. Like, come work with me. It's like, you know, you probably hate me for, like, fucking, I don't know, doing my job. Like, well, if I was like you know, we'd be spending 12, 13, 14 hours, and we'd be charging $3,000, $4,000 for the move. You know? But it's like, you know, you get into this zone, you try to do your work, and it's like you get fucking hated on. And they just try to give me an attitude, just hatred on that. And at the end, he's telling me, you know, a couple of days, there's another job, this and that. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have to, you know, and I couldn't understand the details. Like, if I go to New York, I leave my car there, this and the other thing. I don't even fucking care anymore. A job is a job, you know? I don't even give a fuck. It's just a fucking job. And a lot of these guys, they're just so fucking slow. That's really the thing. You know? They're just so fucking slow. But, you know, it's, the inefficiency, you know, and the laziness, also the arrogance and the disrespect. The disrespect is just staggering, you know. But the laziness is just too much, you know. I think just people want, you know, a lot of stuff for little, you know. I think that's what that is. But I'm not even that angry. It's just that I was just pissed off, like 3-4 hours into the work. I just fucking angry as shit, you know. And, you know, like, they were moving something like a chair, and two guys, I get it was to the door, but this was the funniest. Not the dresser, but they had this, it was a couch, a Solo Custom he had, I think, already in the new place. So it's like he had it in the master bedroom. All he wanted to do is move like 20 or 30 feet to another bedroom. But there was a doorway, right? So they like picked up this couch, and it was just like so weak, but it had the legs. I was thinking like, why don't you take off the legs? And I was thinking, why don't you put it the other way? I was like, there was 3 ways they could have done it. They did it the fucking way that they couldn't have. And you know, I was a part of that. But this fucking dude just kept pushing and pushing. I was like, okay, well, why don't you I was trying to tell him, lift it and put an angle. This dude did not want to lift it. He didn't want to lift it. And then the other guy came, and they got it stuck in the doorway. Finally, they got it out. And I was like, you know, and then they picked it up, and they started doing the same thing. And I think they got it stuck again. I was like, bro, like, you're doing the same fucking thing, bro. Like, where is your logic? Like, how slow are you people? You know, it was after that I just started watching, and I was like, wow, man. It reminded me of some other people that I work with, and they did the same thing in one door frame, and they made a mistake. They flipped the couch around, they got it to the right position, and then they did it to another door and they did the same thing. It's like, why don't you just learn from your mistakes? Why can't you learn from your mistakes? And also, it's like when you're a mover, you have to have a kind of foresight, let's say about inches and feet what will fit in the doorway. And also, like a couch, usually, like, you get it when the upper lip is facing the doorway and the bottom is to the bottom and you get an angle. But when you stand it up, it was like almost like 6-7 inches to the wall. So naturally, you can't have the legs pointing to the wall, so you have it pointing to the other way. It just they didn't realize that till later. I came back like maybe 5 or 10 minutes later, and they actually figured it out and they actually moved it. But it was just like, wow, man. And then they did this dress that they were just like staggering, and this dude just couldn't. He wasn't strong enough. He couldn't lift it. And it was like, wow, man. Well, it's like, what do you want me to do, bro? What do you want me to do? But it's like, it's. I guess it's just better just to keep your mouth shut, this and that, just play. I'm not gonna do that, man. I'm not gonna be one of your little people smoking weed, this and the other thing. Even if even if I didn't smoke weed, it's like I'm not gonna be a little bitch to it, man. Like you can't fucking, you can't like put me down, this and the other thing. I'm not gonna do that for like, it was good money, but you know what? At the end of the day, just a fucking moving job.